Welcome back to Black Wall Street 2.0. I'm your host, James Deloney. And of course, our guest today is Steve Career. He is telling us some very, very important information. I mean, good information. You know, he is a prolific microbiologist, so he's talking a lot of medical terms. And you're probably going, what is he talking about? Let me tell you, the bottom line of this thing is it works. What I'd like to say to you just for a moment is he began to talk about how it's water-based. You know, we are 2/3 water, so that's reasons why the product gets in there. I've done a little research on some of these myself, and the research he's giving goes beyond what I've found out. We're going to talk about the cellular level. Steve really wants to get into the cell level because a cell, that's what you are. And so, Steve, tell us.
Well, you know, let me say this, James. When I talk about the cells, and I think that's one of the things that people, they miss when they're dealing with a degenerative disease. The problem is, say for instance you have breast cancer. You know, a lot of times you have a lot of women, they'll go and they'll get a mastectomy, they'll get the breast cut off. But see, the key to cancer, especially breast cancer, you don't have breast cancer because you have too many breasts.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, if you're dealing with diabetes, you don't have diabetes necessarily because you are obese or necessarily because of your heritage. You know, I mean, that's a fact.
Right?
No, I mean, it's just, and you'll hear that said so many different times, but you never hear anybody, and this what I'm about to say is something that a lot of people don't realize about diabetes. And I'm going to come back to the cells, and I'm going to break it down.
Okay.
You see, the pancreas has what's called the beta cells, and the beta cells produce the insulin.
Okay.
And it's important to remember that when you look at diabetes, one of the causes of type 2 diabetes, and what they're about to hear, they haven't heard this anywhere, is a little corporate called Aspergillus fungi. Aspergillus fungi comes from contaminated foods, and it's being produced, and many of the pesticides, many of the insecticides, the fungicides, the herbicides, it's causing this fungus to be in many of the foods that we eat in this country every day. And they know it. And the key to eradicating a fungus is an electromagnetic mineral that works directly with the pancreas. Now, as far as it comes to the cells are the key to maintaining a healthy immune system. Because when you look at a cell, and I'm just going to break it down in layman terminology, it's a little miniature nuclear reactor. It's a little power plant. It's been given an assignment to possibly work with this part of the body or that part of the body or the gray matter or the bone or the nervous system or the autonomic system. That's what cells do. They work and they fix things and they keep things going.
Right.
Well, when those cells get sick, you get sick. If the cells are weak, you're weak. If the cells are strong, you're strong. And you don't want to destroy the cells because the cells make up the immune system.
Right.
Like chemo, it destroys everything, just wipes everything out. Well, what you really want to do is take those sick cells, regenerate those cells, and allow those cells to go back to work naturally in the body. It's really not difficult, James.
It only makes sense. Like, say if your child is sick, you don't kill your kid.
Sure you don't. Sure you don't.
Get them back to health.
You get them back to health. I mean, you know, I mean, it's absolutely. You break a leg, for instance. You know, do you cut it off? No. The bone has the ability to regenerate and come back together, and that's the problem that we're running into through conventional medicine. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything as a microbiologist against conventional medicine. If I'm in a car accident, I break a bone or my neck, you got some of the best trauma doctors in the world right here in the United States. But when it comes to that internal medicine, get me out of there.
I see.
Because they do not mind practicing and experimenting on you. And one of the things that I have found with the African American community, not just the African American community, but so many different people, they get caught up in the fact that I'm in this extravagant medical facility, and here are these professional people telling me to do this and to do that. But if you look at the statistics of how many people have died behind this particular type surgery or this particular type prescription drug, you will never actually see behind the veil what's really going on.
Right.
And if you don't want to be a statistic, take time to study and read and find out what you can do not to be a casualty of managed health care.
Right. So what you're saying basically in the medical profession and in the building and so forth, it's the sizzle that sells the steak. It's the noise. It's the look.
Absolutely.
It's all that. That's kind of what sells us. You know, if they're extravagant facility, nice doctors, cars, and so forth, and the lobby is clean, and so we fall for that.
And we really do. And the thing of it is, you sit back and you look at these indigenous products. They're natural, they're chemical free, and you know, one of the products that I probably should have brought up, you know, anti-aging. You have so many different people that's going through premature aging. Let me tell you something. When it comes down to premature aging, this is forever young. It's an anti-aging mineral. Works with the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. Let me tell you about those two master glands. James, they control about 30 to 31 major hormone structures within the body. And when the body literally begins to prematurely age, it's because of a very important component that's inside of Forever Young that's no longer registering within the body. Now I'm going to tell you, if you start using Forever Young, it's a slow working process. But some of the tests that have been done have shown people who were 40 or 45 years old look like they were in their early 30s. And all I can say about this particular one is that I love the fact that it is natural, chemical free like all of the other electromagnetic minerals, but it works with the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. And if you can reactivate those glands, you can retard the aging process up to 75%. And this is a product, it really is, James, this is a product you take only in the morning, underneath the tongue, before you eat any meal of the day.
So you're not talking about 10 or 12, 15 pills a day?
No, I'm just talking about a water-based electromagnetic indium product that has the ability to work and reactivate those master glands, hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. And once they're reactivated and the body stops producing very key component hormones at age 30, this puts it back in. And you can stay looking young for a long time with Forever Young.
I think I'll take some of that home tonight.
Get your bottles.
You know, between the breaks, Steve and I were talking about something I think you need to know. He broke down the water content and the micro something or others, how it's so small.
The particle size.
The particle size. See, we want to break this down so you can see this. If it's small enough to get into the cell, then it can work, because conventional pills don't do this. Is that right?
Well, you know, you think about a pill. You got a vast majority of people out there taking all kind of vitamins and things of that nature. But really, you have to understand, when you take a vitamin, you only get about 10-20% absorption. The rest comes out in stool. So that means you lose about 80% of the benefit of that vitamin. That's one of the reasons why we deal with water-based electromagnetic minerals, because you get about 99 to 100% absorption. And it's absorbed in the bloodstream in about 6 seconds.
99 to 100% absorption versus 20%?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it makes sense to go with something you get the benefit. But I will tell you this, by taking electromagnetic minerals, or the full mineral therapy, the Ionic Plus, the Zinc Plus, the Copper Plus, and the Gold Plus, and the all-new miraculous Forever Young. If you take a vitamin, and I never tell people not to take their vitamins, but if you take a vitamin, what happens when you have electromagnetic conductivity moving through the body, where you were getting probably 15 to 20% absorption, you start getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 to 65% absorption from your vitamins.
So it makes the vitamins work?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes the vitamins absorb better into the body.
Wow.
It just makes sense, James.
It sure does. This is fantastic information. I'm telling you, this, folks, this is wonderful. The things you can find out that can happen in your own body. Well, we're going to be back in a little bit after this commercial, and we're going to talk to some of Steve's guests, people that actually use the product. We'll be back after this. Steve, this stuff is...
it's flowing.